I'm going to ask you 2 questions and I really want you to think about your answers. How lean do you feel you have to be in order to unlock love? And how much muscle do you think you need to unlock love? Back in 2023, I'd go on walks with my mate Hassan around a local hill range, and we'd always have these conversations about what we wanted to achieve before we start looking for relationships. And Hassan would always say the same thing. I want to make sure I have an established career before I get married. And I would say, I want to be lean again before I even think about talking to girls. Which is a fair thought. I was very large at the time. Borderline morbidly obese. I didn't even like myself, so how could a girl like me? But what did I really mean by this statement? Because honestly, geez, I was watching Red Pill at the time, which is basically dating content. I was watching self-improvement YouTubers, and everyone said the same thing. Girls want guys that are in great shape, followed by images of bodies like that. And this. And I started to develop this belief that if I was a single 0.1% above 15% body fat, or I didn't have the resemblance of a V-taper, which is the male body standard, at least on the internet and in Marvel films, whatever, then girls would never give me the time of day. So me at 30% body fat was telling Hassan, I don't want to waste time on girls because I'm not at that certain standard yet. Which I still agree with. I was in the pits at the time, a little pickling. But there's a problem in my old line of thinking. I really thought that until I hit 15%, I was essentially invisible. I was locked out of love, and 15% was the price for entry to even be looked at. But this just isn't true, it turns out, because last year and this year I was walking around the pub at 25% body fat and actually dating for the first time in years. And even though I was still aiming to get leaner, the barrier to entry for dating was way lower than I previously believed. So why do I think the modern male body standard is ruining you? It's not because I think it's a bad idea to get lean. I mean, I'm doing it. It's more so the belief system you grow on accident that causes you to avoid real life experiences. There's a chance you're avoiding talking to girls because you think you have to be 12 to 10% body fat. The threshold is more, from my experience, around 25% body fat. I became visible at that point. That doesn't mean you and I don't look better at 10% than 20%. We do. I'm just saying the barrier to entry for love and dating is far lower than the internet makes it seem. It ruined me for a few years because I wouldn't allow myself to even talk to girls until I hit this standard. I used it as an excuse to avoid girls, which I'm sure stole many life experiences from me from 2021 to 2024. If I could go back in time and speak to 19-year-old me on those hills, I'd tell him to keep going. Lose that fat, because if you hate how you look, you'll keep avoiding relationships because you're not giving her what you feel you're fully capable of. But I'd also say this: you don't have to be perfect 100% to unlock love. You don't have to be 10% body fat. The barrier to entry is lower/higher than you think, but still strive to be the best version of yourself. Don't use the fact that you still haven't reached your final destination of 10% body fat as an excuse to avoid experiences and opportunities that present themselves romantically. Be great, but understand that people don't hold you to the standards you have for yourself. 25% body fat isn't good enough for you, and it shouldn't be, but there's a girl that thinks you're cute at that point. Cute. What a terrible word. And don't pass up valuable life experience just because your standards for yourself are higher than hers of you. I know you want these experiences. That's who I'm making the video for. And those experiences are closer than you think. Just look after yourself a little bit more. Stop using your weight as an excuse to stay indoors. Be gone.